spot. You've got a deeper box at the bottom, which is the brood chamber. That's where the queen's laying all the eggs and building the colony. And the shallower boxes are where we collect the honey from. You'll see that as we start to open up. So now we're into the main chamber. This is called the brood chamber. So what we have on here, in the centre here, is pollen. It's mixed pollens that they've collected, and they use that as their main food for the youngsters. If we have a look on the other side, same again, you've got pollen in the centre. It's a funny colour because it's called bee bread. They mix the pollens together with nectar and make their food, which is bee bread. Now in this one you've got capped cells, and these are all brood. So these are all new bees that are waiting to hatch. And within the next 7 days those will hatch out and start working. Right, now straight away at the top edge of the frame here you've got some bigger cells. They stick out from the frame, and that's the male bees. They're called drones. They don't make so many of those because the drones really are there just for the heavy lifting. That cell at the bottom of there, I'll move those bees, that's what we call a queen cup. They've started a queen cup. Now if they wanted to produce another queen, they'd extend that and they'd put an egg into it and they'd raise another queen on it. All we do is remove those so as to reduce the likelihood of them trying to produce another queen, because obviously we don't want another queen in the hive. No. That's when they get swarming. You can see there, the larger bee there, that's a drone bee, and you can see there's a clear difference. That's the male bee. The rest of them are females. There's a clear difference in the size. They're much bigger and stronger, so they're used for the heavy lifting. That waggle dance is just telling the other bees what it's found, where it thinks they should go for the food. You can see the occasional bee that's coming in with pollen stuck to the legs. It says here, and there's none now. There's one here climbing up the box. He's got pollen on his back legs. That's how they carry the pollen, and that'll get stored in the hive. That's what they call a nuke, and that's how we start a colony off.
Okay.
So there's no queen in that box. They're producing a queen as it is. This is how we reproduce bees. Take that top box off. So there you can see there's 2 cells hanging down there, and those will be new queens that are growing in there. You can see in the bottom of there's white. Those are the young larvae that are growing. This is how the frames go in. So you've got a strip of wax that they start from, and they end up building that up so as to create the frame to store the honey in. This is all just honey. So that frame is pretty much capped all the way across now. There's only that last little bit. That means that frame's ripe and that's ready for harvesting. And then we can jar it up and it goes in your shop.
Lovely.
So that box on its own will have about 30 pounds of honey in that box. So we would take those boxes to the workshop, and they go into a centrifuge to spin out the honey. Yeah. That goes through a medium filter and into a jar.